Then we have number 14. If you've been through some basic survey courses, this is probably the piece you were shown when it came to Rothko. Now, number 14 is painted in 1960 and at one time was known as Emotion and Myth. But when it comes to Rothko, we've eliminated many of the titles. In this case, you may see this named Blue and Orange or something basic like that, but we try to remove the descriptive titles because that gives you something to key in on. And Rothko doesn't want that. Remember, he's creating something universal, so he's trying to strip everything cultural from it so that you get a purely emotional response. You're not going to focus on something concrete, something that you know. This unusual painting depicts no images. It merely uses two bold colors to create a piece that leaves the viewer thinking about the meaning of the painting and what exactly were the intentions of the artist who creates the piece. The painting is clearly divided into two sections horizontally. The lower section is blue, the upper section is in various shades of red and orange. Not only are there no clear images included in the painting, there are also no distinctive shapes to attempt to interpret. These are not clearly rectangles. They have those softened edges, so it's sort of halfway between a rectangle and a circle. Like many of his works, this abstract piece invokes the emotions and thoughts of everyone who views it, and each person's interpretation will differ greatly. You're again supposed to stand in front of this, and it's got this odd nondescript color scheme. We've got the orange and the blue, that's pretty obvious, but how would you describe that color in the background? Is it brown? Is it sort of violet? Is it gray? Is it more like vomit? Who knows? But as you look at it from 18 inches away, as this takes up all of your view, you're going to key in on one of those three colors, the orange, the blue, or the nondescript vomity color. And if you key in on the orange, you're probably optimistic. The blue, you're probably more sad, depressed, maybe just calm. And the odd violet-y color, you're outside of the binary scheme. What am I supposed to say? Well, some people will key in on that. Maybe you're just content. Maybe you don't have a strong emotion that day. And so you key in on that background or what appears to be a background color. In fact, it could be said to ask as many questions as it answers. This painting has a view. This painting is viewed by some art experts as creating emotion, sort of focusing on that idea of color creating emotion, although I would argue that it's really color drawing out emotion more than anything else. Because it can create emotion, but that's usually something that takes some time. It is also believed that it was the intention of Rothko for people viewing the painting to stand exactly 18 inches away from it, so that they would be completely engaged with the painting rather than seeing anything else. At the same time, accidentally setting off the alarm, which will shock you out of whatever meditative state you fall into staring at something like this for 5 minutes. But again, it's going to be up to the viewer. You could focus on the orange, you could focus on the brush strokes in the orange, or maybe the blue is a solid field, or the shapes that are inherent to using glazes. What he's doing is he's adding these thin colors. And by adding glaze over glaze over glaze, as many as 10 different layers of the same orange, he's altering those forms. He's giving you some forms, but obviously they're not concrete. We know immediately that these are going to be nothing more than brush marks.